I love you.
Well, that's awkward. Another day, another hot tea spilling session while I drink my ice cold coffee. Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. If you are new, click that subscribe button. I upload every single week. This video is going to be a part 2 to a video I just uploaded a couple weeks ago. So if I cannot speak English. I recently uploaded a video, which is this one right here, about basically my ghosting story. The first clip of this video, which you guys saw, I may or may not have found voice note. You know, thought I'd spill the tea and share it. There's that. Today I thought I would do an update video. I wrote some notes down this time. Your girl came prepared. But the question I wanted to really go over is just, did you ever talk to him again, and what was the exact last conversation like? I'm gonna go through all of that. Basically, if you guys haven't seen my part 1, this probably might not make sense. To sum it all up, I dated someone from Europe, which we call him Denmark on my channel because, you know, it's fitting, he's from Denmark. From this video on too, I'm also gonna call him Denmark. We're gonna keep going with that. But I dated him for a year and he actually ghosted me out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming. He just bam out of my life. Yeah, I go through all the details in that video, but I kind of wanted to do an update because there's a few details I left out and I kind of forgot to add in, and I kind of want to give you an update of what happened after he ghosted me because there's just a few things that I need to spill the tea on. First off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support on the video. It means the world to me. Thank you to anyone who has joined our family and subscribed from that video. So hello, I love you guys so much. And I also want to say thank you for being brave enough to write all your stories down. Honestly, I didn't realize how many people went through the exact same things, and it's crazy to see how similar our stories are. Thank you to anyone that has come over to my Instagram and wrote me any of your personalized stories. I am actually answering a bunch of you guys back. If I haven't answered yet, I will be, so don't worry, I am getting to your messages. If you guys want to follow me, Nicoletta XOYT, you always can. So grab your snack, grab your tea or your iced coffee like me, and let's get right into the update. No tea, no shade. Yes. I definitely want to nip this right in the butt, but I've been getting actually a lot of conspiracy theories, people kind of guessing why this person did that to me and why Denmark did what he did. But one thing I was getting was his real relationship person might have found out about me, but I just wanted to state, which I didn't really talk about this in part 1, is that I was actually all over his social media. His profile picture was of us, and then also on his Instagram he shared photos of us. His parents and his sisters knew about me, and when we would Skype, there was times where his dad was there. He wasn't shy to post anything of us. A conspiracy could be that he found someone after me and just kind of ditched me, which that is always a possibility, and my friends have totally talked about that. Like I said, a question I have been asked since that video is, have I ever heard from Denmark? And although I have not heard through text message from Denmark, I have gotten a few little signs and a few little things that Denmark has done that I have caught personally. And I thought, you know, it would be time to update you guys on what I have seen. I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna talk about everything that happened after the ghosting process. So he finally cut me off and we were done. So we were broken up because he ghosted me. A lot of you people said, what was the last message? His last message that he sent me was, I'm still doing my assignment. So we were talking about his school, which I said that in the conversation. He was really stressed, and then he sent that at 6:25 p.m. in June, and the very next day I answered actually at midnight because we are in different time zones. So I ended up answering after my work shift, I remember, and I ended up saying good luck. We did typically message on WhatsApp, so you could see when someone reads your message, and it just said it delivered and that it was not read. At 6:25 my time for him, I guess after he sent that message that he's still doing his assignment, I'm assuming that's the time he blocked me, because at that time I was at work and we weren't really allowed to check our phones at work. So I didn't come home from work that day until almost midnight, and that's when I answered back, and it ended up not being seen seen, which wasn't that weird because I'm like, he'll probably answer in the morning. And then in the morning, he didn't answer. And then after that, when I would send a message, it only had 1 check mark on WhatsApp, which means that like he didn't even get it delivered to him. So he clearly did block me. So that is the exact last conversation we had when he blocked me. So it was kind of weird because it's not like we were really talking about anything except for his school, and then he just decided to block me. After I got ghosted, of course, I called up my best friends and I was so upset, and all my friends were just shocked. They were like so confused why this was happening, so they all reached out to him, and as soon as they reached out to him, he blocked them off everything. Also, when he did block me off everything, he made his account super private. So I've been getting a lot of sneaky questions from you guys saying like, go check his profiles now, see what he's doing in life. But I remember all my friends and I, we did check when this was all going on, and even a bit after. My friends have even creeped without me. They just are curious because they can't believe like someone would do that. Like, after he ghosted me, he made it all his accounts just super private. So he made his like Facebook page so that you couldn't see anything on his Facebook page. Like, it was so severely private, and he did it after like he blocked me so that I couldn't see anything. He made his Instagram private, of course. Any social media he had, he made it so private that you could like, it was hard to find him, or he was like severely private and he would have to like obviously accept you, and of course he was not about to accept anyone from Canada because I'm from Canada. And God bless my best friend Jessica. I love her. She was like so annoyed by this, so mad for me, and she was just not having it. And I remember not long after this whole went down, it was like a month or 2 after, myself, Jessica, and my other friend, we were wanted to go out and do a girls' night out, and they wanted me to take my mind off everything. So we got all dressed up, and then Jess just comes out at like her apartment that she was living at the time, and she's like, so I bought a prepaid card. And basically what she did was she bought a prepaid card that allows you to call people in different countries. So it's not going to charge your phone. You just use the card and it has the balance on it. And what happened was her and my other friend, they actually called him on Jessica's phone with that card. And I don't really know what the plan was going into when he would pick up, but Jess and my friends were just so angry. They were like, no, we're not having this. And they just saw me so upset, and they were just doing honestly what any best friends would do. So Jess ended up calling him with her phone. He ended up picking up, and she said something, and right when she said something, he hung up and blocked her. So he did pick up her phone call, but that didn't really go anywhere. And that was probably like the last attempt of us trying anything. And at that point, I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, this is stupid. Why do I care? Like, I didn't get my closure, but I don't care. I don't deserve someone that's gonna do that to me, especially when I put so much effort into that person and cared so much about Denmark, and I didn't deserve what he was doing to me because I never did any wrong to him. I was just kind of over it. We went out that night. We lived our best lives. So now we are gonna talk about my stuff. This is probably, I would say, a few months after he blocked me on everything and the ghosting happened. So a few months later, I got an email from YouTube, which I tried to look for it, but because it was in 2015, I don't have it anymore. But I do have a couple screenshots of things that happened recently. But in the end of 2015, at the end of summer, I believe, I got an email saying that Denmark subscribed to my YouTube channel. So let's keep in mind that when I was with Denmark, I did start my YouTube channel. I think I started it a year or 2 back. So my YouTube was a lot smaller. It was a hobby, and it was definitely not my full-time job. I was probably making like $2 in a year, and he knew about it. I told him about my YouTube. I was very small back then. I don't even know if I hit 10,000 at the time. I think I was like much smaller than that. So back in the day, like YouTube used to send you emails saying that this person subscribed to your YouTube channel. Now I never get emails about who subscribes to my YouTube channel. I do get emails sometimes about who comments on certain videos. I don't know if smaller creators still get this or if they just stopped it altogether, but I used to get like, so-and-so subscribe to your YouTube channel, and it would send you every time you got a new subscriber. And it was so funny because I remember I was like on my emails and I got an email and it said Denmark and it said his last name and everything, subscribe to your YouTube channel. And I was like, sis, what? I went on to that email and it allows you to click on the person. So I clicked on his page, his YouTube channel, which he doesn't post videos, it's just like his YouTube that he has. I clicked on it, it said exactly where he was from in Denmark, and then it showed his full name, which isn't very common. I was like, wow, this person is spying on my YouTube now. Denmark obviously thinks that I'm not gonna see this, but I ended up catching that and I found that so weird. Denmark might be a long time loyal subscriber, or he could be unsubscribed by now, but we will never know that. So that was the first thing I saw that was really weird, because it's like this person ghosted me and yet they're still creeping on me on my socials. If that's not weird, I don't know what is. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. I'm curious to know what your theories are, what you think about it. Tell me your stories down below. That was the end of 2015, so we were going into 2016. There's this good old thing called Instagram stories, and that brings me to the second thing I saw, and that was him stalking my Instagram stories. I would say maybe like a year later, or even 6-8 months later, was the first time I probably saw him stalk my Instagram stories. So at that point, I guess he unblocked my Instagram account. So I don't think he's unblocked me on anything. I have never checked since. It was so much time that I'm like, really, this person's stalking me? Why don't you just send me a message, tell me what your reason was, and that would be it for us. But this person just decides, you know, let me just stalk her. He ended up stalking my Instagram, I would say in 2016 was probably the first time I caught him. Speaking of Instagram stories, I have actually screenshots of the last 2 times I caught it. And the thing that I find so funny is for my Instagram stories, for the most part, I'm not really looking through it, but there's been a few times that I have been curious and looked at like who's seen my stories, and you guys would be shocked to know the type of people that have looked at my stories. I've caught so many different people. I caught my bullies from high school stalking my Instagram stories. I've caught ex-boyfriends looking at my Instagram stories. I've caught even just people that talked crap about me in my life that don't follow me. This past summer in 2019, there was actually 2 more times I have caught him stalking my Instagram stories. So mind you, this is now what, 2016, 17, 18, 4 years later, and he is still stalking my stuff, which is crazy to me. We've been done now for 4 years. I've happily moved on in a new relationship, which I'm sure he's seen because it's all over my Instagram on my pictures. That is one thing that you will never know. You will never know who's just casually stalking your Instagram. You'll always just see if someone's stalking your Instagram stories. So who knows how many times over the years he's looked at my actual profile. We will never know. Jess and I went on another trip. We've been on multiple trips since our Spain trip. She's literally my travel buddy. But Jess and I took a trip in 2019 to Punta Cana. Punta Cana. Don't come for me. I actually did a whole travel video, self-little promo. I will link it above. But we went to Punta Cana and we just wanted to have like a little girls trip and get away and relax and tan and have some pina coladas and be by the beach. And we were just living our best life as always. I was Instagram storying a lot that time because I was on vacation. So I was just like taking photos of every palm tree in sight because that is me. I'm a basic girl every time I travel, I'm not gonna lie. And I was just taking a bunch of like boomerangs with Jessica and we were having so much fun. And I remember I was like looking at who saw the Instagram stories. Let's just pop this up. I can't really show you guys the exact thing, of course, because I don't want to expose Denmark's name or who he is, of course, because that is just totally not right. But he looked at all of my Instagram stories from Punta Cana. And this was in, when did I go? This was June 19, 2019. And as you can tell in the screenshot, there's actually a few Instagram stories. I went really ham that day. I probably posted like 15 Instagram stories, who knows, probably even more. He saw every single one. Another time was July 6th, so this was not long after, I guess, I came home by then. So this was not long after my Punta Cana trip, and it says that I posted like a photo, a quote, and it says this. So it says, "Some people will never support you because they are afraid of what you might become." I don't even remember posting that, but that is a good quote. And then he viewed that as well. It's just funny because the few times that I have looked, it's crazy like what you find and what you see, and I always feel like these things are signs. And to be honest, one of the biggest questions that I've gotten and I want to answer today on that video, which you guys, I came prepared. How long did it take for you to get over him, and what helped you get closure? It did take me a while to get over him. I'm not gonna lie, it's something that was really difficult for me because I am someone that always likes to know reasons and why, and I like to have that closure. So it did take a longer time than I think it would have, that if we just had like a mutual breakup or just we broke up and there was that closure. And I think what was really difficult for me to actually move on to was that the fact that when we were in that relationship, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like we had a horrible relationship and he did horrible things. He did treat me properly, and which is kind of like cringy now to think back. And to be honest, it was too fast. I was living in a fairy tale, I think, in my head. I just thought everything was perfect and this is how it's supposed to be. But looking back, it was definitely a little too fast, definitely too cheesy and cringy. But at the time, I was just swept off my feet. I was naive and gullible, I think. But to be honest, what helped me get over him was time and realizing that it wasn't my fault. So at first, I just always wanted that closure. I always like, maybe I did something, and I started blaming myself a lot. And then I realized that I don't want someone that's going to do that to me. Like, I'm so thankful that this happened now and it didn't happen like 10 years later. Can you imagine spending even more time? I already spent a whole year with this person, and I put so much time for a whole year. I can't imagine spending more time on this person because they were totally not worth it. And I think just time and doing things for yourself, doing things that make you happy is really gonna help you get over someone. And also, you're going to meet new people, and it's gonna show you why it didn't work out, because I always believe that there's always reasons in life and things happen the way they do to teach you a lesson maybe, and then down the line so you can appreciate your future partner. And I think Denmark also did teach me lessons, and I think that it made me stronger. It made me become more confident in the end. It definitely has to take you time. Spend time with your girlfriends, keep yourself busy, maybe work on some goals you have, and eventually you're gonna move on. So if you're going through this right now, your ghosting story, you're in the middle of it, trust me, time will heal all. And I totally know how you feel, because I was at one point that girl that was just crying, laying in her bed and miserable. But you kind of need to experience that for a little bit and then pick yourself up and just start living life, and you'll realize that you're so much better than that and you don't even need to waste time on that. And I think also just seeing him stalking me so many times that I did see, I don't know, that kind of helped me with my closure, because it's like, this person did this horrible thing to me, yet he's stalking me. And that leads me to, no, I never got a message. I never got a private message on Instagram or an email or anything like that, basically of him telling me why he did what he did. The only clues I got was him stalking me on my social medias, and that's about it. It's been now over 4 years, I believe. Yes, over 4 years since this all went down. I've gotten no answer to this day, so I wouldn't hold my breath to get an answer. And to be honest, I don't really care anymore. You know, I found him stalking my account. That's a little bit like a message, so at least we got that. And that brings me to, it took me a little bit to get back into the dating game. Not gonna lie, I was single like a Pringle for a while, but I definitely got back in the dating game, and let me tell you, that was a whole whirlwind on its own. So since you guys seem to be liking this whole ghosting story, I was curious to know if you guys want to hear about my interesting dating life after I finally moved on from Denmark and I put myself back in the market. Because let me tell you, it was not that good, and I was losing a lot of hope at one point because I totally got screwed over by a lot of F-boys, and I definitely had my fair share of F-boys. So if you guys want to see that video, thumbs it up, and I will make another story time on the first person that I was kind of getting more serious with after Denmark that just really went downhill, and it was not good. There's a lot of tea, let me tell you. Share this story out there. I would love that. And I'm excited. This will maybe, you know, this is just gonna be another chapter on my channel, and we are just gonna be spilling all the tea. Thank you for listening to my entire ghosting story now and hearing everything, all the updates. Thank you for leaving questions on my last video and leaving your stories. Comment down your stories right now. I would love to talk to you guys a lot more, and also you can message me on my Instagram at NicolettaXOYT. I would love to talk to you guys a lot more as well. I love connecting with you guys, and I just see you guys as my best friends, so feel free. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I do upload every single week, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!